The battery metal industry is getting more and more important for our greener future. Worldwide electrification and green energy growth are demanding those metals from the current mine operators. But what will happen if the mining industry is not finding more of those? Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, stated publicly that the industry should develop more new nickel mines due to the shortage of the important battery metal. It seems to me that the Canadian exploration company Group 10 Metals is in the driver's seat here. The company has the potential to become a primary US-based source of battery metals such as nickel, cobalt and copper, as well as the platinum group elements and gold. The Stillwater West project in Montana looks like an El Dorado for exploring those highly needed materials. And importantly, Group 10 Metals has 31 kilometers along property and is directly ascended to the world's highest grade PGE mines, operated by the $14 billion company Sibanye-Stillwater. Today, I want to know from Michael Rowley, who is the CEO of a dominant newcomer on the horizon, why he and his team believe that Stillwater West could be a monster asset similar to Rowe's well-known Bushveld complex in South Africa, which hosts many of the largest and platinum group element deposits in the world. Michael, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Nico. Glad to be here.
Let's jump right into the question. Michael, Group 10's flagship asset, where your exploration activities are focused, is the Stillwater West project in Montana, USA, which has recently grabbed the market's attention. Please explain to our investors why this project is so important for the industry.
Sure, I'd be glad to. It's rare for a junior to have a position like this. We own 100% of one of the absolute best districts in the world, the Stillwater Igneous Complex, for these target commodities. And we did that in the bear market cycle, which meant that it was available at bear market prices. We've done 4 years now on the ground and successfully advanced it very nicely each year. We are bringing in geologic models from South Africa. So some of the biggest and most profitable nickel copper sulfide mines with PGEs and gold in the world. And we're bringing that to Montana. Based on known parallels. So this is exciting stuff. We're in some of the best rocks in the world for our target commodities: nickel, copper, cobalt, platinum, palladium, rhodium, gold. And it's a US district with 3 mines and a smelter at a time when the US has listed 5 of these commodities as being critical. It's an exciting time. We're also about to debut our first resources on the project, and that, of course, is a major milestone for any junior.
Yeah, I totally share your excitement. Let's jump to a statement of Dr. David Broughton, a former chief geologist of Ivanhoe's mines. He said once that the recognition of a Plat reef setting in the Stillwater district is an exciting development. Could you explain David's statement? What is this Plat reef setting and how does Stillwater West compare to that?
Yeah, it was fantastic to have Dave join us at such an early stage and give such important early stage advice on how to drill this and how to prove it out. The Plat Reef setting basically is the connection between those high-grade PGE mines just north of us and the nickel copper sulfide PGE systems that we're drilling just to the south. The Plat Reef term is a reference to the Plat Reef district of South Africa. This is a 400 million ounce PGE district, tens of billions of pounds nickel copper as sulfide. And these are in big disseminated deposits, tens to hundreds of meters thick, terrific economies of scale in mining, and also a very compelling blend of commodities in that commodity mix that's very rare in the world. So that's the 2 exciting things about the Plat Reef style of deposit. It's correct for Stillwater, and what Dave is referring to is the fact that we are stratigraphically below those reef mines. So in South Africa, you've got the Merensky and the UG2 reefs that are 75% of the world's platinum. The Plat Reef mines are below that. They're these bigger magmatic vents sitting just below that. Stillwater is directly parallel. In fact, the parallels are well known between the Bushveld and Stillwater districts. We are just below that JM Reef deposit, 100 million ounces of the highest grade palladium platinum in the world. We're operating just below that, and we've confirmed that the Plat Reef systems are real there, and that's the resources that we'll be debuting shortly here.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for giving us insights on that. Even though you already achieved some exciting discoveries, the exploration of the Stillwater West project is just at the beginning. So what is your exploration strategy for this year, for 2021? And how do you want to release a first resource statement of the company?
Sure. Yeah, they're all actually tied together because given how much ground we have and the fact that this whole 31-kilometer strike is mineralized, focus becomes very important, especially for a junior. We're only a 70 million market cap, so to get where we think we should be, we have to be focused and strategic. The answer to that is those resources. We expect to debut maiden resources, our first, on those 3 most advanced target areas within the next few months here. Middle of this year is the target. We're in good shape to do that. That's a key point of revaluation. We think the company will be worth a lot more after that. And that will enable us to get on to bigger programs across those 3 areas where we see great potential to expand those resources, in addition to getting after the earlier stage targets and advancing them as well.
Okay, so we can expect an update in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, let's focus on your drill results. What makes you so excited, and why do you believe Group 10 Metals is potentially sitting on kind of a big elephant, or maybe even bigger than your neighbor Sibeny?
It's a pretty ambitious statement for a junior to say that they're bigger than a 100 million ounce neighbor. The model is certainly correct if you look at the Plat Reef potential, but it would definitely take some time to get there. What they have is fantastic. 100 million ounces, highest grade in the world, of course. It's a 1.8 meter thick horizon across 40 kilometers. And that speaks to the amount of metal that was in the magmatic pulses that laid down these layers. So we've proven mineralization, and in fact, on a grade thickness basis, sometimes greater mineralization across widths just below them in these broader magmatic horizons that are rich in nickel and copper, as we talked about, as well as PGEs. So we definitely have that potential. We certainly won't be debuting there in a matter of a couple of months, but broad strokes and years out, that is the potential of the district and what we see there. It's an exciting time for the company. The drill results in 2020 built upon our 2019 drill program. And the key thing about the 2020 results is that they were the first to work from our IP survey, induced polarization survey that we did in 2020, which was the largest ever done in the district. And it did a fantastic job of illuminating the potential up to 800 meters of depth in the 3D model, as you saw in the news release on April 19th. And the key takeaway is that that's lighting up across 9.2 kilometers with these continuous, very large scale, very high level anomalies, both chargeability and conductivity, that correlate very nicely with the drill defined resources in the emerging resource areas. So this is a fantastic roadmap for us. In terms of the 2020 results, we also tagged a number of new magmatic horizons that delivered really good grade, 8.5 meters, 1.1% nickel, with a further 60% in value from the PGEs, copper and cobalt. And that's within an interval of 455 meters of continuous mineralization at potentially bulk mineable levels. So that's consistent with what we saw in 2019 at Iron Mountain. And it's worth noting that that's 7 kilometers away. And that's tied together by these geophysical anomalies. So we're seeing terrific potential to expand in terms of both grade and scale on this project. And that's within that broader 31-kilometer package that you mentioned.
Very exciting, Michael. Coming to my next question, Group 10 Metals does also have the Stillwater East exploration licenses. It's also 100% owned, and it's a Plat Reef style target as well. What do you expect from exploring of this new area?
It's an earlier stage target. We are doing a good compilation effort there of existing data. Basically, as you say, it fits more of that Plat Reef style system. It's below the JM Reef. Our sampling last year gave us 1.55% combined nickel copper in rock samples and a healthy dose of PGEs on top of that. We look forward to expanding that this year. The focus will be Stillwater West and those 3 resource areas in particular.
Okay, understandable. If I got it right, you have some additional projects. What are your plans there, and do you want to spin out some of those assets or potentially also sell them?
Yeah, they're effectively for sale at this point. We have low carrying costs. Those are the Klawani PGE nickel copper project in the Yukon. We have the largest land position, and we adjoin Nickel Creek Platinum, one of the largest undeveloped deposits of its type. And then we share the Sioux Lookout Deformation Zone in Ontario with Treasury Metals. They recently consolidated with the Goldland project next door to them. They now have 2/3 of the district. We have the remaining third. A lot of interest in that project in particular. They now have 3 million ounces and a permit to build a mill. So they're one of the most attractive emerging gold producers out there. We own 100% of both of these assets. They're both district scale like Stillwater. And we're entertaining offers basically as part of our focus on Stillwater. We look forward to selling those off, spinning them out, and the best deal that comes forward for the benefit of all shareholders.
Okay, sounds good. Coming back to your Stillwater West project, this has all the hallmarks of company-making asset. What are your plans or expectations in terms of Group 10 advancing the project towards the ultimate production phase?
We fancy ourselves explorationists, so our most likely model is that we will further de-risk this. We've already engaged with majors. We've already got their attention on this. We've had it from an early stage. The address gets you in the door. And then our work there usually continues the conversation very nicely. Ultimately, we'd like to de-risk this and then see it into the hands of a much larger company, a miner, a producer. And that would be the most common roadmap for a project like this. I wouldn't rule out us going into production there, but it would have to be with the right backers and partners. And we would build the team accordingly. I should mention on that note, that Gordon Toll joined the board just recently. And there's a fellow mine engineer and financier who's been part of raising over $5 billion and built some massive mines around the world.
So he brings experience to the table.
Yes, yeah, along with the existing board, which is already strong. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, talking of your shareholders and or your structure in general, you're part of a metallic group of companies. Could you please explain to our investors what are the benefits of these working relationships for the Group 10 metals?
Sure, it's cost sharing of back office and costs like that. It also brings a broader talent pool. High-level geologists and resource modeling geologists and the like. The three companies in the metallic group can have better access to world-class talent on that basis. The three companies share a philosophy of exactly what you see at Group 10. District scale asset, 100% owned, acquired in the bear market cycle, and then build it out from there. So systematically compile the database, bring in some new talent, some new models, and with an improving market, go after it and reveal the potential. That's what we do.
Sounds really good. Thank you, Michael. I look forward to your upcoming news flow and hope to have another update soon, especially after your exploration phase this summer. So please register on our YouTube channel, axinocapital, to follow further interviews of a metallic group of companies. Thank you, Michael, for being here today.
You bet. Thank you.